Youths in Benue State are worried that the African way of life is vanishing due to Western influence. They are worried that most cultures in Nigeria are endangered and called on the government to address the trend. The report.
Well, for a long time, what I knew about our people was mainly the New Yam Festival. I didn't know about what we talked about, like how a woman is supposed to be during marriage, how we assimilated the traditional marriage for a long time. I didn't know about any of this. It was upon my return to Benue State that I actually started finding out about it. So this has really, really affected me in not knowing how to speak my language, in not being able to properly talk with my tribesmen. I have a fear of going to the village due to the fact that I don't really know how to speak with my native tongue.
For me, bearing the Oche in my name, it's just an identity that confines me to be an Idoma. But if I will use the word, I am maybe an alien to my own culture, but maybe an accepted indigene of the Hausas, because growing up, my parents, most especially my mother, would actually communicate with us using Hausa, and my friends around.
These are some of the experiences shared by some residents of Makurdi. They are worried that they cannot fit into their own cultures, no thanks to their upbringing in places far from the ancestral homes. The aspect of culture most affected is language. The residents feel native languages are not given adequate attention as channels through which cultures are transferred from one generation to another.
I grew up in an environment where it's dominated by the Hausas. Then in my house, in my family, we were speaking English, more of English and Hausa alone. But my dad will always scold us. Each time he comes around and feels we are speaking or hears us speaking English or Hausa, he scolds us. He will permit me to use my language. Sometimes he has always said it, and that has always sunk in us. With that, we got to learn how to speak our language through my father, because my mom was also speaking that language with us.
It's not taken. Indigenous language may go down, except otherwise if we arise and begin to provide materials so that it will become enough, can be printed, can be taught in school. Like in my school in those days, we were taught how to read, even in primary school, in our languages. So I think if that is put in place, we'll go a long way to helping the situation.
Most importantly, they say that parents can play a good part in training the young ones to preserve the languages they inherited from their forebears.
Believed that culture cannot be separated from language. And when we look into what is happening to our culture in Africa, we discover that many things have actually entered into our culture. When you look into how our people speak, even their dialect or language.
The English, French, and other European languages are gradually taking the places of many African languages. In Nigeria, the Pidgin English, an adulterated form of the English language, may soon take the place of our indigenous languages if a deliberate policy is not enforced to save the situation.